Today, we're going to tackle a skill we all think we've got down pat, listening. But what if I told you your brain is constantly playing tricks on you? That it's making you hear what you expect to hear, not what's actually being said? Yeah, let's find out.
So let me just ask you, straight up, are you a good listener? I'm willing to bet most of you are nodding your heads right now, thinking, yeah, of course I am, right? We all pride ourselves on it. But what if that's not the whole story? Are we really as good as we think we are?
Well, there's only one way to really find out. We're going to put those listening skills of yours to the test. Just a few quick, fun, and honestly, surprisingly tricky puzzles. Let's see how you do.
Okay, welcome to round one. Now the key here is to answer as fast as you possibly can. Seriously, don't overthink it, just go with your first gut instinct. You ready? Let's go.
If you have 3 apples and you take away 2, how many apples do you have? Come on, think fast. What's your answer?
So did you say 1? If you did, hey, you're in good company. That is the mathematical answer our brain just automatically jumps to. Because, 3 minus 2 is 1. But that's not what I asked.
The correct answer is 2. Think about it. If you have 3 apples and you take away 2, well, you now have 2 apples in your hand. Kind of tricky, right? It's a test of listening, not a math quiz.
All right, let's try a harder one. I'm going to read a sentence to you, but only once. Your job is to count every single time you hear the letter F. So listen very, very closely. Finished files are the result of years of scientific study combined with the experience of years. Okay, you got your number? So, did you count 3? You probably got the one in finished, the one in files, and the one in scientific, right? That is by far the most common answer people give. But the actual answer is 6. Yeah, 6. Surprised? Let's break down where those sneaky little letters are hiding.
So we all catch finished, files, and scientific. No problem. But what's fascinating is that our brains are basically wired to treat the little word of as just background noise. It's a function word. We hear it, but we don't truly listen to it. And it shows up 3 times.
Our brain's desire to find a pattern is just incredibly powerful. Let's try a little rapid fire round. What's the white of an egg called? Did your brain just scream yolk? That's the yellow part. The white is called albumin. Okay, next one. What do cows drink? Did you think milk? Nope. They drink water, of course. See what I mean? Our brains just follow the expected pattern, not reality.
All right, on to round 2. Now these puzzles, they go beyond just single words. They're all about listening to the entire context of a story or a command. This gets a little tougher.
So imagine this. You're a world-famous detective. You get called to a house, and there's a man trapped in a room with no windows and one locked door. Inside, all he has is a piano, a calendar, and a bed. So, how does the man eat?
People get so creative with this one. Did you guess he eats the dates from the calendar? Or, I don't know, maybe he plays a sad song and eats the keys from the piano. Really clever ideas, but they all miss the single most important detail.
He eats the food you brought him. The very first sentence put you in the story. Remember, imagine you are a detective. You were called to the scene. You're the one there. The answer was hiding right there in the setup all along.
Okay, time for a quick physical challenge. I'm going to give you 3 commands, but you should only do the one that's actually logical. Ready? Point to your nose, point to your toes, point to the word silence. Go ahead, point. Where'd you point? Your mouth? Your ear, maybe?
Well, the most logical answer was to do nothing at all. See, unless I wrote the word silence down for you to see, there was absolutely nothing to point at. You followed the pattern of pointing, but the command itself just wasn't logical.
So what is going on here? Why are these simple little puzzles so good at tripping us up? Well, it's all about this fascinating quirk in how our brain processes information. Let's really think about this question for a second. Were you listening to what I said or what you expected me to say? This gets to the very heart of the entire issue, because most of the time, we're doing the second one.
And this phenomenon is what we can call the listening paradox. See, our brains are these incredible prediction machines. To be super efficient, they are constantly taking shortcuts. They're finishing sentences for people, filling in patterns based on past experience. But in that whole process, we often completely miss the literal, actual words that are being spoken.
But here's the good news. We can actually train ourselves to be better. We can move from being these passive hearers, just letting our brains run on autopilot, to becoming active, conscious listeners. And really, it's simpler than you might think.
Okay, becoming an active listener is really a simple 3-step process. First, just acknowledge it. Acknowledge that your brain is built to take shortcuts. Just being aware of that is half the battle. Second, consciously pause before you assume or respond. Just give your brain a split second to process what was really said. And third, really try to focus on the specific words someone is using, not just the story you think you're hearing.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a final question. Now that you know all about the listening paradox, think about your daily conversations, or the news you hear, or even the instructions you get at work. What else in your life have you only heard but maybe never truly listened to? Thanks for tuning in.